Okay, guys, and we're back with another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest. I'm Seth from the Lonely Stoner podcast, and this is episode 29 of my side quest. Now, in this episode, we're probably going to talk about mostly boxing. We've got the Dubois v Parker fight coming up, and also rumours around Usyk facing Alex Pereira. Now, we'll kick it off with Powhatan v Usyk, and obviously Usyk had called out Powhatan recently, saying he would probably be one of his last two fights. And we're looking at this historically. MMA fighters going into boxing haven't had loads of success. To be honest, they haven't had loads of success. You've seen Conor come over to boxing. He lost an attempt. He lost, I want to say, in the 10th round to Floyd. I want to say got stopped. Francis had some success against Tyson Fury. To be fair, he exceeded expectations. In my opinion, I know a lot of people at the time were saying, "Oh, Francis was robbed. Francis won that fight," but even at the time, I was saying Tyson Fury outboxed Francis. Now, just because Francis exceeded expectations doesn't mean that he won the fight. You can exceed expectations and still lose a fight, which is exactly what happened to Francis. Tyson didn't put in a good performance at all. Didn't really look like he trained for it. Looked like he was really underestimated Francis. But, of course, the years and years and years and years and years of Tyson Fury boxing experience he has, it was enough to get through the fight on that occasion. And then obviously when Francis faced Anthony Joshua, he got his ass slept and got his chin absolutely spun in a really sort of amateurish fashion, where Anthony Joshua didn't do anything crazy, didn't do anything special, just landed a big, I think he faked a jab and came over the top with a cross. This is, day one boxing stuff. I mean, I understand it's heavyweight boxing, anyone can get caught, but come on, man. Come on, it's your pro boxers. I mean, Francis isn't a pro boxer, but he's a guy who's fought MMA at world championship level, and you're getting caught with shots like that. Completely understand the speed and the power and everything, but there's a reason why these guys are at the top level, and Francis Ngannou's 0-2 in boxing. And Alex Pereira, the difference with Alex Pereira is he was a world champion kickboxer. So coming into this, he is purely a striker. Now, the other two guys were strikers as well, don't get it twisted. You had Conor, who was obviously an MMA striker and had really good pedigree for MMA striking, a lot of knockouts. Before the Floyd fight, was a very dynamic striker. Obviously, post the Floyd fight, he basically just become a boxer in MMA. And Francis, similar thing. Said he trained a bit of boxing, but his technical boxing skill is very poor. But he's such a big guy, so athletic and so powerful. He's able to just knock guys out, which I definitely can appreciate. But none of these guys had the striking pedigree that Alex Pereira would have if he was to fight Alexander Usyk. Alex Pereira was a Glory Kickboxing World Champion, which is one of the highest, pedigree championships you can win in kickboxing. Alex Pereira done that. And Alex Pereira, even to this day, is largely still a striker. You saw Francis even dabble in a bit of the wrestling and all that. Powhatan's not interested in none of that. That being said, he still probably doesn't really have a chance against Usyk. Usyk's faced bigger punchers than Pereira. Someone like Daniel Dubois is a bigger puncher. Derek Chisora is a bigger puncher, and he's beat both of those. Of course, the Daniel Dubois fight was close. Was competitive. They had that moment in the fight when contested around if it was a body shot or a low blow. That's for another time. Excuse me. We'll talk about that another time. But Usyk's not new to being in there with big punches. Usyk is a boxer who's obviously, we don't need to talk about his accolades, but we will anyway. Olympian, undisputed, undefeated 2-weight world champion in boxing, has beaten everyone. I mean everyone there is to beat. He's not ducked anyone. There's not been any politics. There's not been any, I don't want to fight this guy right now, let me wait and then fight him. He's fought everybody. Everyone in the heavyweight division there is to face that's worthwhile, he's faced. Apart from, Deontay Wilder's not worthwhile. Joseph Parker, but if Joseph Parker beats Daniel Dubois, which we'll talk about, then he'll face Joseph Parker next. That being said, we're seeing this article saying that Usyk's camp and Powhatan's camp are working on this fight. I understand the commercial appeal, obviously, because this fight likely would be on paper at least, is far more competitive than any of the other crossover fights we've seen. So I understand the commercial appeal. It'll be a big fight. They do it in Las Vegas. Both guys will be walking away with multi millions, right? Without a shadow of a doubt. Even if they do it in Europe or wherever. It's a huge fight anywhere they put it. But I don't see any path to victory for Poatan. Now, Poatan, like I said, he's a much higher level striker than all the other guys that have crossed over. So, and we all know this dude can bang. And in terms of size, they're probably not that much different as well. Poatan's probably got the height and reach advantage. And going into the fight, they probably would weigh around the same. Because don't forget, Usyk is a cruiserweight coming up to heavyweight. So cruiserweight's what? 200 pounds, I want to say. And Poatan fights at 205. So both of these guys out of camp are probably 225, 230. So the size is about the same, to be fair. Not like Floyd and Conor, where Conor was so much bigger than Floyd. So there is that. And like I said, Poatan, huge kickboxing pedigree. So he understands the distance a lot better than a guy like Conor and Francis, which was ultimately these guys' undoing. Of course, they were against boxers with much more experience. And in the AJ fight and in the Floyd fight, by the end, these guys had a lot more power than these guys too. Because I remember watching the Floyd and Conor fight, you're seeing Conor sort of throw these pity-patter punches, and then come the 8th, 9th, 10th round, Floyd's just walking him down, big shots, and just knocks out or stops Conor in the end. Poatan is capable of doing that because we've seen him put guys out. So if Poatan starts throwing with reckless abandon and starts landing on Usyk, there is a path to victory there. But like I said, Usyk's faced bigger punches. He's faced bigger punches and beat them. He's beaten everyone, So I think Usyk, this is sort of not a layup. It won't be an easy fight. It would be an easy fight compared to a Daniel Dubois rematch or even a third Tyson Fury fight, which probably won't happen. But that's a more difficult fight for Usyk than Poatan, and he's beaten those guys already. So, like I said, in my opinion, I think this is a win for Usyk if this fight was to happen. The thing is, nowadays in boxing, anything can happen because there's so much money involved. There's too much money involved for these things not to happen anymore. There's too much money involved not for these things to happen. So both guys could walk away with potentially 8-figure paydays comfortably, I would imagine. Especially, or even, like I said, they do it in Las Vegas, they make money. If they do it in Europe, I didn't even mention, they could do it in Saudi Arabia and make a super crazy bag. That could happen too. So yeah, if that fight happens, it's an Usyk win. But nothing's confirmed yet. It just looks like they're in talks. And if it happens, it happens. If not, I don't think any guy will. Both of them are, beyond rich. Neither of them need this fight. I think it's nice that both of them are entertaining it, though. It does kind of show that they've both kind of got respect for each other's games. I mean, how could you not? Of course, Poatan's in the UFC knocking out everyone, and Usyk's undefeated, undisputed 2-weight world champion. Game recognised game, right? Next, we've got the article around Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker potentially being like a slept-on, fight and potentially delivering really entertaining fight, which I think could happen because I'm looking at both of these guys' styles. Daniel Dubois, I would say he's a bit of a brawler, but guys don't really brawl with him because he knocks dudes out. He's lost to Usyk. That was controversial. Landed a big shot on Usyk and dropped him. Like I said, controversy around if that was a body shot or a low blow. We'll talk about that another time. But Dubois' power is completely undeniable. He put AJ on his ass in front of 100,000 people in Wembley. Right? Dubois' power is not up for discussion. And the question is Joseph Parker a good enough boxer to avoid Daniel Dubois' big punches for an entire fight? The reality is Joseph Parker is not a good enough defensive boxer to do that. Joseph Parker is a very good boxer and has got a lot of really impressive wins under his belt. And when you're facing a guy like Wilder or Dubois, who's got just dynamite power, Daniel Dubois, he's got dynamite power in his hands. You can be winning the fight. You can win 7, 8, 9 rounds. If he lands one punch, that can change the entire fight. That could rock you, drop you, or just straight up knock you out. And that's the thing. Nobody's really been good enough, apart from Usyk, in one fight, no one's really been good enough to be able to, you know, avoid the punches, avoid the power, to be honest. AJ couldn't. And AJ boxed relatively well in that fight. AJ was having some success, but Dubois was just too powerful. And AJ, at that point in his career, to be fair, probably at any point in his career, isn't able to take those kind of punches anymore. Right? He's not able to take those punches anymore. So you're looking at it, and again, in my opinion, Dubois just got a much clearer route to winning this fight. Joseph Parker will put up a fight because Joseph Parker is not some. He's not some bitch. He's not some bitch. Like he will stand and fight. He's good defensively. Nothing amazing. He's no Tyson Fury. Don't get it twisted. He's no Tyson Fury, but solid defensively, solid fundamentals, and on any night, Joseph Parker can give anyone a really close match. Can give anyone a close match. So even in this fight against AJ was competitive. AJ won that fight, was winning the rounds, but Joseph Parker wasn't getting walked all over. This was competitive. It was, a physical fight because a lot of inside fighting, a lot of holding, a lot of pushing. Physical fight. Joseph Parker is not scared of that. Joseph Parker is no small dude, but Daniel Dubois is a big dude and he can seriously bang. But I actually do think it will be quite a good match. A nice clash of styles. But Daniel Dubois is just too big and too powerful. And I think Daniel Dubois wins that fight and he goes on to fight Usyk. And in a rematch against Usyk, I would favour Usyk, obviously, but hey, man, it's boxing. Anything can happen. Anything really can happen. But yeah, that's it from me. How long have we been going for? Going for a nice little period of time. Yeah, that's it from me. It's been the Seth Solo Side Quest, episode 29. Crazy to think we're damn near at 30 episodes now. I wanted to maybe look at getting a guest on here from someone from Twitter maybe, but I don't know, maybe for episode 50. I don't know. But alright guys, I'm out. Been it from me, Seth Solo Side Quest, episode 29, and I'm out. Peace.